Have you ever had that feeling of being watched, even when you know you're alone? Well, today I'm going to tell you a story that will make you think twice before walking alone at night. It was a dark night, typical of autumn, with the cold wind whistling through the trees. Marcos was driving home after a long day at work. The road was deserted, and the only light came from the headlights of his car. Everything seemed normal, until he saw something on the side of the road. It was a figure standing, surrounded by shadows. Marcos slowed down, trying to see better, but the darkness was thick. As he got closer, he realized it was a woman, with long, disheveled hair, dressed in clothes that seemed from another time. She was staring at something ahead, as if unaware of the car approaching. He stopped beside her and rolled down the window. "Do you need help?" he asked, but the woman didn't respond. She simply turned slowly to look at him, revealing a pale face and empty, lifeless eyes. Marcos felt a chill down his spine, but before he could react, the woman disappeared into the darkness. Scared, he accelerated and continued on his way. He tried to rationalize what he had seen. Maybe it was just an optical illusion or some trick of the light. But deep down, he knew something was wrong. Marcos got home and tried to forget what had happened. He took a hot shower, had dinner, and went to bed, but he couldn't sleep. The image of the woman kept haunting his mind. He decided to investigate. He grabbed his phone and started searching for stories about apparitions on that road. He discovered that, years ago, a terrible accident had occurred on that very road. A car had veered off the path and flipped over, killing a young woman and her child. It was said that her spirit still wandered there, looking for her lost child. The next day, Marcos couldn't focus on work. The story of the woman wouldn't leave his mind. He decided to return to the road at night, determined to learn more. He drove slowly, observing every detail. When he reached the spot where he had seen the woman, he stopped the car and got out, even though he felt a chill in his stomach. He walked along the side of the road, calling out for the woman. "I know what happened to you. I'm here to help." But all he could hear was the sound of the wind. After a few minutes, he was about to give up when he heard a whisper. He turned around and saw her again, the woman, standing between the trees. Marcos approached slowly. "I want to help you find peace," he said, trying not to show his fear. The woman just looked at him, her empty eyes now filled with sadness. Suddenly, a vision flooded Marcos's mind. He saw the accident, felt the pain and despair of the woman as she searched for her child amidst the wreckage. When he came back to his senses, the woman was gone. But he felt that something had changed. Somehow, he knew she had found peace. He returned to the car and drove home, feeling relieved. However, before leaving the road, he looked in the rearview mirror and saw the woman again. But this time, she smiled, a sad but grateful smile. Marcos never saw her again after that night. But every time he passed that road, he felt a friendly presence, as if she was watching over him. And he knew that, even in the darkest shadows, there is always a light waiting to be discovered. So, the next time you're driving alone at night, pay attention. Maybe you'll also find someone in need of help, someone who just wants to find peace. And remember, shadows aren't always what they seem. Marcos continued with his routine, but that experience never fully left his mind. He became more and more interested in ghost stories and urban legends. He bought books, watched documentaries, and even started participating in online forums about the paranormal. The more he read and listened, the more he wanted to understand what had really happened that night. One day, he found a local group of paranormal investigators. They met regularly to discuss mysterious cases and organize expeditions to supposedly haunted places. Marcos decided to join the group and share his experience. When he told his story, the group members were intrigued and decided to investigate the road. On the night of the investigation, Marcos and the group met at the spot where he had first seen the woman. They were equipped with cameras, audio recorders, and other devices to detect paranormal activity. As they walked down the road, the atmosphere seemed even more sinister than Marcos remembered. The wind was blowing strongly, and the shadows of the trees seemed to move in an unsettling way. Suddenly, one of the group members, Anna, stopped abruptly. "Did you hear that?" she asked, with a worried expression. Everyone fell silent, trying to listen. Then, a soft, almost inaudible whisper reached their ears. "Help me!" Marcos recognized the voice immediately. It was the same voice of the woman he had seen. "She's here," he said, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. The group followed the voice to a denser part of the forest. There, they found a small lake hidden among the trees. The surface of the water was calm, reflecting the moonlight in a ghostly way. Anna started asking questions aloud, trying to communicate with the spirit. "We're here to help. What do you need?" For a few moments, everything remained silent. Then, the water in the lake began to stir. A figure slowly emerged, as if being pulled from the depths. It was the woman, but this time she seemed more solid, more real. "My son," she whispered, her eyes full of pain. "He's still here. Help me find him." Marcos felt a wave of compassion. "We'll find him," he promised, not knowing exactly how. He looked at the group, and everyone seemed equally determined to help. They began searching around the lake, digging and searching for any clue. After a few hours, one of the members found something buried in the mud. A child's toy, a small metal car, rusted by time. When Marcos touched the toy, a new vision flooded his mind. He saw the boy, small and scared, trapped under the wreckage of the car, calling out for his mother. When the vision faded, Marcos held the toy tightly. "He's here. Let's get him out of here." They continued digging, and finally found the remains of the boy, buried under a layer of mud and leaves. The group formed a circle around the discovery, all silent, feeling the weight of the moment. The woman appeared again, but this time she seemed different. Her eyes were full of gratitude, and a soft light emanated from her. "Thank you," she said, her voice now clear and calm. "Now we can rest in peace." With those words, the woman's figure and the presence of the boy disappeared, leaving only the silence of the night. Marcos felt a deep peace, as if he had fulfilled an important mission. He and the group held a small ceremony right there, marking the spot with an improvised cross. In the days that followed, Marcos felt a change in himself. He was no longer obsessed with the paranormal, but instead grateful for the experience. He felt that he had helped bring peace to 2 lost souls. He continued to be part of the group, but now with a new perspective, that sometimes, spirits just need a little help to find their way. And so, the road that had once been known for its dark past was now a place of peace and remembrance. Marcos knew that, even in the darkest nights, there was always a light waiting to be discovered. A few weeks after the investigation, Marcos began to notice something curious. Every time he passed by the road where he had encountered the woman and her son, he felt a calm and protective presence. It wasn't scary. On the contrary, it was comforting, as if the spirits were grateful for the help. One day, while driving by, he saw a small child playing by the side of the road. Alarmed, he quickly stopped the car and ran over to her. As he got closer, he realized that the child wasn't real. It was a vision, an echo from the past. The boy waved at him and smiled before disappearing. Marcos understood that it was a final thank you, a friendly farewell. This experience changed Marcos's life. He began to share his story with others, not just with the investigation group, but also with friends and family. The story spread, and the road that had once been avoided by everyone became a place of tribute. People began leaving flowers and toys at the site, in memory of the woman and her son. Marcos also wrote an article about the experience, which was published in a local magazine. He received many messages from people who had their own paranormal encounters, and this made him realize how many lives are touched by mysteries we can't fully explain. Over time, Marcos decided to create a small memorial on the road. With the help of the investigation group, they built a bench and placed a plaque in tribute to the mother and child, so that everyone passing by would know the story and feel the peace that now filled the place. And so, a road once known for its fear and despair transformed into a symbol of compassion and remembrance. Marcos continued his paranormal investigations, but now with a new purpose, not just to seek answers, but to bring comfort and peace to those in need. And he knew that, no matter where his investigations took him, there would always be a light waiting to be discovered in the shadows. Thank you for watching another Dark Tales video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any